It's Window Wandering Wednesday here on the GoGo Joe Show. It's the episode where I look out of gorgeous windows from all over the world and read headlines and discuss headlines about technology, startups, business, science, all sorts of good stuff. On today's show, I'm going to talk about franchising and the business of franchising and why Chick-fil-A is your cheapest option to get into franchising. Didn't know that. We're going to talk about Chinese super soldiers. We're going to talk about satellites that are being used as weapons, beaming stuff into monkeys' brains, and more. Join me as we wander around the world and learn about some cool shit.
It's the Joe Show.
Welcome again to my show. Hope you enjoy the content. It's going to be me rambling my thoughts on a bunch of different headlines and stuff. Here we got our first window. It's in Varanasi, India, and I think this is one of the first windows where we've gotten a lot of rain on the Joe Show. Nice green window, nice sounds of rain in the background against that smooth jazz music. But we talk about franchising. That's right, let's talk about franchises. You know them, and you don't even realize you know them. Of course, things like Starbucks, Subway, McDonald's, Burger King, all sorts of fast food franchises, but how much does it cost to actually open up a fast food franchise? I got a fun little graph here that gives me an overview of about 20 different fast food franchises. So we'll start at the top here and talk about the upfront cost for a franchise. Usually when you open up these restaurants, what happens is you put money down and sign an agreement with the franchisee. They give you their branding, some support, you give them a little bit of money and then a cut of sales. You get to benefit from their marketing department and their overall brand recognition. They benefit by getting a new piece of real estate, a new location, and then part of your profits. Generally, they do some sort of profit sharing. So let's look at the upfront costs here for opening up a fast food franchise. Top of the list, you might not know it, is Sonic. Sonic used to be a roller skating waitress joint way back in the day, and now it is just, I don't even know. They got delicious beverages over at Sonic. That's what I remember, and hot dogs. You can still drive through, and you can also pull up and then have somebody walk up to your car, very old-fashioned like. They also got very delicious cherry limeade drinks. It's what I remember from my time with Sonic. But to open up a Sonic, it costs between $1.2 million and $3.5 million. So you're pretty much paying for everything up front to open up that Sonic. Wendy's is about the same, but it's even more expensive. It's $2 million to $3.5 million. Jack in the Box, also $1.5 to $3 million. Taco Bell, we start to dip down. Now it gets a little bit more affordable. Taco Bell starts at around $526,000 to open up one of them franchises. Get those quesadillas in your, I want to say Guadalupe, but Guadalupe is not a food. That's a place in Arizona. I was thinking of the Chalupa, not the Guadalupe. So silly. $526. Then we go down to Burger King. Starts to get even less expensive at $316K. And then there's a franchise called Bojangles, which I'm not familiar with. Probably it's on the East Coast where I never really lived. McDonald's, big name recognition, costs about $1.3 million to open up a McDonald's at the cheapest. Carl's Jr. 1.6, Hardee's 1.5, Arby's getting back down into the cheapskate section. We got $320,000. I mean, compared to a $1.2 million, $320,000 is a bit of a deal. And they got the beef. We know it, Arby's. We got the beef. Dairy Queen, $395K. Dunkin' Donuts, also $395K. Little Caesars, $350K. Popeyes chicken, finger looking good, $500K. Church's Chicken, which, if you don't know it, is also delicious. They have some of the best chicken tenders I've ever had, $191K. Papa John's Pizza, $130K. Jersey Mike's, $237K. Jimmy John's, what's their thing, Dangerously Fast or something like that? $314K. Domino's, getting even cheaper, $121K, which is great because everyone loves pizza. If we're being honest, everyone loves pizza. I could have pizza at least once a week, if not a couple times a week. It's delicious. You can put so many different things on top of it. It's pretty much the perfect food. We all know it. At one point, the U.S. government even considered it a vegetable. Subway, getting those $5 footlongs, never again. because they lost so much money on it, I think. $140K to start a Subway. And the cheapest, all the way down at the bottom, you already know what it is because I mentioned it at the top of the show. That's Chick-fil-A. At a whopping, massive investment of only 10K. Only 10K. Compared to the 3.5 million for a Wendy's or a Sonic, 10K is nothing. You could start several Chick-fil-A's and then eventually work your way up to a Sonic, I guess. Although I think Chick-fil-A's do better than Sonics do. So yeah, if you're looking to get in the franchise game, looking to open up that fast food restaurant, Chick-fil-A is a fascinating franchise business because they only charge you up front 10K. And then I think they help you out with the rest. However, it seems like there's some caveats here. Ownership comes with some big caveats. Owners don't truly own their franchise, unlike other places. Chick-fil-A retains the real estate, the equipment, and the inventory. So that tells me that you put in 10K, Chick-fil-A locates where they want to place it, and then they buy that real estate, they buy you the equipment, and they buy you the inventory, which is actually very nice. They take also, it seems like 15% of all sales for that location, plus 50% of any net profit, which is a big ask. So when you sell all the food, they take 15% of that. And then once they take their 15%, you start to accrue, your money as you pay off everything. And then any profit that you have, any revenue after you have taken out your expenditures from your revenue, your profit, and after they've already taken 15% of sales, your profit, they take 50% of that, which is the highest royalty fee of any chain, apparently. That is extremely high. I mean, 50% is 50%. That's half of what you're earning, they're taking. But you only put in 10K, so I mean, I can see why they're charging so much here. And then of 60,000 franchisee applicants every year, so 60,000 people apply every single year, it only accepts a grand total of 80 people, or 0.13%. That's not a lot of people open up Chick-fil-A's. This is a lower acceptance. I love this. This is a lower acceptance number than Stanford, than Google, or even more insanely, the secret Mofunkin service. You have a better chance becoming a secret service agent or getting let into Stanford than you do of opening up a Chick-fil-A restaurant. So everyone out there who wants to go protect Joe Biden, you got this. Much better chance. Go do that. Don't open up that Chick-fil-A you were thinking about. Pretty crazy. But their entry point, as we mentioned before, is the lowest out of anyone. It has no minimum net worth requirement, so you don't have to have, be in a thousandaire or 100,000aire to open up a franchise. It has the lowest franchisee fee, meaning that 10K that you pay up front, which is pretty crazy. And, that's their lowest investment cost is the 10K versus 800K plus. Can't read today. It has the lowest franchise fee of any chain. It is the 1/5 of what everyone else charges. The franchise fee, I think, is I don't even know what that is. That's like a yearly fee I think you pay to retain the brand of whatever you're franchising. Regardless, Chick-fil-A, lowest barrier of entry, pretty fascinating to know what it costs to open up a bunch of these fast food franchises. If you're looking to do it, I'd suggest Subway, Domino's, or Chick-fil-A. They got the lowest barrier of entries, but probably the highest caveats. However, I mean, if you're looking for a deal, fried chicken sandwiches, pretty tasty deal. Now that we've learned about franchises, let's leave India behind and see where we can go next here. Felipe's window over in Galway, Ireland, looking like another rainy day. How crazy. It's not even the same part of the world either. We got India and Ireland, both raining. Interesting. I wonder if I'm going to get all rainy windows today. That would be something definitely very new. Very interesting. Let's get on to a story, though, that I find really interesting here. One of the ones that I mentioned earlier. We've got, if I can find something. Apparently, I can't find anything. No, I clicked on the wrong one, of course. Okay, here we go. China has done human testing to create biologically enhanced super soldiers, says top U.S. official. Looking like in reality, not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not in the 616 universe of Marvel, but in reality, our actual universe, we're not going to be having Captain America. We're going to be having Captain China. What? China has conducted human testing on members of the People's Liberation Army, according to the top U.S. intelligence official. Western scientists consider it unethical to manipulate genes to boost the performance of healthy people, but there are indicators that Chinese military researchers are starting to explore the potential. On top of the military consequences, tampering with the human genome may have unintended side effects as these people go and reproduce, have children, they pass on these gene modifications, and all of a sudden we have unintended genetic variations out there in the wild, or mutations, I guess you could call them. Generally, it's up to nature to make these mutations. That's what happens. Our genes mutate, and then we get diseases or we get defects. But now it seems that China is manipulating their soldiers' genes to make them super badass. That is scary on all sorts of levels. I'm very curious, though, what they actually enhanced. This little blurb didn't tell me what they did to these soldiers. I wonder if they made them stronger, made their eyes better, made their hearing better, made them less shaky so they could shoot a gun faster. I'm not really sure exactly what they were going for, but I'm assuming it has to do something with stamina and physicality so that their soldiers are more, strong. Pretty insane. Also, this story don't know exactly what it's about, but I found it kind of interesting. For the first time, physicists have recorded the flowing sound of a, quote, perfect fluid. I'm not really sure what a perfect fluid is. It's surely not the rain over here in Ireland. But physicists have recorded sound waves moving through a perfect fluid with the lowest possible viscosity. The research can help scientists understand the most extreme conditions in the universe. For example, the interiors of the ultra-dense neutron stars, the interiors of spinning neutron stars are thought to be perfect fluids with many oscillation modes in which sound waves propagate through the star. This research can also help scientists better understand superconductivity, and it could lead to the development of materials where electrons can flow in a perfect way. If we do have superconductivity, that means we could have almost effortless electricity, and I think that we could also have all sorts of like magnetic train systems that never stop, or like perpetual motion machines that regenerate themselves. Regardless, perfect fluid sounds like it has the lowest possible viscosity, whatever that means. I think that is like when you're in a pool and you're moving through the pool, you can like feel the water, you move differently. That's how viscous a liquid is, how much you're able to move in it. And so this must, I don't know how they make a perfect fluid, but it has, like we said, the lowest possible viscosity. And now they recorded a sound flowing through that. It's probably just, they have a picture of it, but it must be a bunch of sound waves. Now, I'm curious to see where it takes scientists, and if it helps them understand the universe better, then it's a net win for all of us, I believe. Let's leave Ireland and see what else we can dig up in the world. Darlene's window over in Tucson, Arizona. Looks very much like Arizona. It is a lovely desert scene, and we got some metal rabbits. That's very common in Arizona. People love to put little metal things in their yard like that. Let's talk back about monkeys. As I mentioned earlier, scientists beamed shapes and motion directly into monkeys' brains using light. I'm not really sure what that means. Attempts at beaming images directly into people's brains have so far only resulted in very low resolution devices. Most devices require electrodes to be placed on the brain's surface, which limits the resolution significantly. In a new experiment, scientists used tiny needle-like electrodes to create a high-resolution array that allowed monkeys to identify complex structures. or shapes. The scientists use smaller currents with more precision. Adapting the technology to be used in humans will prove challenging, as the same area of the brain in humans is much deeper. So I think what that means is that they plug these little oh my god, I almost said erections. Electrons into the monkey's brain using these little tiny needles. And then they are transmitting shapes into their vision. So they can perceive shapes that aren't actually there in reality. And so they probably put a square there, and then they like said, hey, what do you see? And the monkey was able to press a square button or something. I would guess it was something like this. But that's very interesting, especially because we talk so much about augmented reality and virtual reality. So right now we have to put on these silly glasses, and some of them have see-through features where you can see the world, and that's when we get into like mixed reality. Or you could also watch the movie Ready Player One and, see what I'm talking about. But if we could just, beam it directly into our brains by just wearing something or having some sort of Bluetooth connection to a device, like, it gets really interesting. But then it also starts to question, like, what is reality at that point, and gets into very philosophical questions. So that's an intense experiment, and it sounds fairly promising. And maybe actually in the future could also let us, read our thoughts as well. Maybe we can do a read. So this is just a write where they're writing into the monkey's brain, but reading is another process. And so if we could actually read what they're seeing, or read their thoughts and record it, that's also very interesting. And so I wonder if it can go the other way as well. Once we can read and write, then it's just about storage. And then all of a sudden, humans are computers. Humans is computers. Humans is computers. Also out of China, and this is very fitting for a nice Arizona window here. China just switched on its artificial sun nuclear fusion reactor. Artificial sun. That is intense. Also, I feel like if they're making something that's an artificial sun, maybe they should give the world a little heads up, or have some other inspectors come in or something. I feel like anything that's called an artificial sun has the potential to, if it goes wrong, wipe us out. China recently powered up its HL-2M tokamak nuclear fusion reactor for the first time in its Sichuan province. The reactor uses a powerful magnetic field to fuse hot plasma. That sounds sexy. Reaching temperatures of over 150 million degrees Celsius. That is hot. It has often been referred to as an artificial sun due to the enormous heat and power it produces. Fusion power emits no greenhouse gases and is safer than fission power. However, it is extremely difficult and prohibitively expensive. Well, it's good to know, actually, that it's safer than fission power, which I think is how we do current nuclear reactors, maybe, or that's how we do, nuclear bombs or hydrogen bombs. It's fission. But maybe it's fusion. I don't know. I'm not a nuclear scientist. Regardless, China is... Every week, I feel like on Window Wandering Wednesday, we talk about China doing just crazier and crazier things. They just switched on artificial sun. They're editing their genes. They're doing all sorts of stuff with AI. They're giving their citizens scores. And they're also telling their citizens the direction that they want them to go in. So, hey, we have to do technology. We have to do AI. We have to do, nuclear fusion and fission. Like, go to space. I really think that the rest of the world is going to fall behind China in technological scope just because they have this government structure where the top tells everybody else what to do. They all do their fair share, and somehow from a young age, they convince them that this is like good for them and this is what they want. And so they're all bought into this as well. I know a lot of my Chinese friends don't view it as wrong. And I go back and forth on if it's wrong or if it's right, especially when we have the rise of populism, of right-wing populism all over the world, with people like Donald Trump and the AfD here in Germany. So I don't know, man. I feel like China is just bypassing literally everybody else in the world as far as technology goes. Maybe not in human rights, but definitely in technology. Let's grab one more window here because I'm... Gets me freaked out, man. Dubai, UAE. This is definitely Dubai. Looks just like Dubai. Very clean, very modern looking. Yep, this is Dubai for sure. And the inside of these buildings probably all look the same. I've been to Dubai. Either that or they're all shopping centers. One more thing here. Let's see. Iran says smart satellite-controlled machine gun killed top nuclear scientists. Smart satellite-controlled machine gun, huh? According to Iranian authorities, last month's killing of Iran's top nuclear scientist was carried out remotely by Israel with artificial intelligence. Oh my God, that's a lot going on. A nuclear scientist is claiming something was carried out remotely by Israeli enemy with artificial intelligence and a machine gun equipped satellite. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied responsibility for the killing. The killing has exposed security gaps, and the Islamic Republic may be vulnerable to further attack. 13 shots were fired at the scientist. However, his wife was uninjured despite sitting only 25 centimeters away. 5 Iranian nuclear scientists have been killed inside Iran in targeted attacks since 2010. So I've joked about this actually in relation to China before and TikTok. It wouldn't take too much for China to be able to make a drone army that could use facial recognition to target every, I don't know, American citizen, we'll just say, and come in and just take them out. That is something that China could produce. That is something China could train, especially with their facial recognition combined with social media scraping. They could make a drone personalized for every citizen of America to come in and shoot them directly. They could do it not just for American citizens, but they could do it for, I don't know, any high priority targets all over the world. So if there was a bunch of, world leaders or smart people that they wanted to take out, they could easily build a drone army to recognize their face using artificial intelligence, fly to them, and then take them out, and nobody would be the wiser, generally because drones are high up in the air and no one's looking up. No one ever looks up. I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist today, but the technology for that type of thing exists already, and now Iran is saying that Israel is actually doing this. They're taking satellite imagery, using artificial intelligence and facial recognition to find a single person and then send a weaponized drone to kill that person with a gunshot while he's sitting next to his wife. If that is true, that is a nightmare scenario. It's also something I think that Michael Crichton would have written about if he was still around. I miss that guy, man. He wrote really awesome books. And if anybody knows a writer that's kind of similar to Michael Crichton, let me know, because I've been looking for somebody that is even remotely similar, and I've never found an author that's quite like him. He was always my favorite author. And with that, I think we're going to end today's Window Wandering Wednesday. We learned so much today about franchising and that Chick-fil-A is our cheapest option. Learned about China's nuclear artificial sun reactor and about their tampering of Captian China coming soon from the People's Liberation Army. And we also discussed this crazy satellite machine gun killing thing. What a crazy... and don't forget the beaming images directly into monkey brains. Wow, man. The world is crazy. There's a lot out there. And then there's Dubai. That's been today's Joe Show. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button and mash that bell to get a notification every time I upload a new video. Come back tomorrow for something thoughtful. I got a different theme on every day of the week, which seems to be popular on YouTube right now. So enjoy it while it lasts. And until next time, I hope you wander somewhere good, because you know it. We love you.